everyone, my name is Bridget and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I thought it would be fun to do a top 10 list of amphibians that I would like to own. I just recently did a list of top 10 reptiles I'd like to own, so I thought it would be fun to extend that and go into the amphibian side of things. Now you guys know that I have several reptiles. And I only have a couple of amphibians right now, and that's not because I don't love amphibians. I love amphibians way more than I probably should, but reptiles are just, I don't know, they're easier to come by and I have more experience with them, so I don't have enough amphibians in my home right now, but that is definitely gonna change. I would love to have every single one of these, but I don't think it's gonna happen where I get every single one of these, but there are several that I can say with 100% confidence that we will have someday, and I'll go through that as we go through the list as well. So yeah, we're just gonna get started on my top 10 amphibians that I would like to own someday. Number 10 on the list, blue-black reed frogs. I don't know very much about these guys whatsoever, but I think that they are so cool looking. That blue coloration just blows my mind. It's one of my favorite colors in the first place, so to have that on a frog just seems so cool. And I would love to have a tank where they're in there and I can look at that vibrant color all the time. I just think they look really cool. Number 9, and this is the same as the others, it's the Amazon milk frogs. They look so cool. They have this quality that I just want to stare at them all the time, and they look so squishy. I haven't seen very many people with these guys, so I think that they're really, really cool, and I would love to have my own someday. I don't know if I will, but it would be amazing if that could happen. Number 8 on the list, and this was a tie for me as well because I don't think that I want both of them, but I could go for either or, and that is a tiger salamander or a fire belly newt. Both of these guys are so cool to me, and I also think that they're kind of difficult to find. So it'd be one of those situations where like I find one or the other, probably not both, so I'd have to choose anyways. I think newts and salamanders are so cool and so underrated. Like there's so many people who look at animals like that and are like, ooh, that's gross and slimy, yuck, why would you want to touch that? Why would you want to interact with that? Well, you're not really supposed to. It's more of an animal that you look at in the first place, and they just, I don't know, they look so interesting and like snake-like but also lizard-like. They're so cool, and their faces are just the cutest, so I don't think that I would want to have both of those guys, but I would love to have either one of those. Number 7 on the list is an interesting one for me. You guys are probably gonna laugh, but I can't help myself, and I think that I eventually will have one or some, probably some, because I think they do better in groups, and that is the South American bird poop frogs. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. They are bird poop frogs because they literally look like a pile of bird poop. I don't know how else to describe that, and that's pretty much the only reason why I want some. They don't have a whole lot of other great qualities or characteristics that I know about that make them more interesting to me. They just look so interesting and so cool, and I think that it would be really fun to have those, especially like my stepson would probably appreciate that a lot if I brought some bird poop frogs into the house. Number 6 is a big one for me. I want these so badly, and I see so many people now are getting them, and I think that's fantastic, is a glass tree frog. I want a group of glass tree frogs. They are so cool to me. I can't even put into words how cool I think it is that they can be against the glass and you can see their organs. You can see their little heart beating. Like, I think that is so precious, and I want some so bad. Number 5 is a big one for me as well, but it's more of a big one for my husband. My husband really wants these, and that is dart frogs. Dart frogs are so cool, and they're the cutest little frogs that have the best patterns and colorations about them, and they're so interesting to watch. Now, the one thing that's going to be difficult about this is what type we get, because you can't put 2 different types of dart frogs in the same enclosure. So we kind of go back and forth on which ones that we would get, because he has a type that he likes and I have a type that I like. So he's really big into the Dendrobates tinctorius patricia dart frogs, which I love. I think those are super cool. Their yellow coloration is gorgeous, and then their blue little legs, really cute. But I I personally am really big into the green and black poison dart frogs. I love their metallic green minty coloration. I just think that they look so interesting and like jungly almost. I don't know. I love them both, but we might end up having to do 2 separate dart frog tanks just so he can have his type and I can have mine. We shall see. Number 4 on the list is kind of a simple one, and we will definitely have these someday because we're gonna do a community tank at some point in the near future, and that is African dwarf frogs. These are the frogs that you frequently see in freshwater aquariums. And there are African dwarf frogs, and then there are also African clawed frogs. The African clawed frogs have the claws in the front, of course, and they get really, really large. The African dwarf frogs have webbed feet, and they stay relatively small and do excellent in freshwater aquariums down towards the bottom and everything. So I wanna get a group of those at some point when we do the community tank, and I just think they're so cute and so fun to watch swim around, and my stepson really wants some as well, so that'd be kind of something for him as well. Number 3 on the list is a huge one for me, and I say huge because that's a really big part of it, and it is a pixie frog. Oh my goodness, pixie frogs are so freaking cool. They're just so cool, and how big they get. They literally get like so massive that you need both of your hands to pick them up. I love that so much. I want to get one so bad someday. Got a name picked out, of course. Got enclosure plans picked out, of course. Like, a pixie frog is big on the list for me. Number 2, major dream, want, desire, gotta have one, or 2 or 3, don't even know. Axolotl. I want an axolotl so bad. I actually want 2. I have names picked out. I always have names picked out. Axolotl. I've wanted an axolotl for 6 years, you guys. Going on 7. I know that they're so common and they're so easy to find and they're relatively easy to keep, but the temperature requirements are a little bit difficult for me here in Texas. It's very hot pretty much 9 months out of the year. Our house stays pretty warm as well. We keep the temperature in the house anywhere from 75 to 77 degrees at all times because we have reptiles. We are also needing to be comfortable ourselves, and we also have a bird. So just having an axolotl with just a fan over the top isn't probably really gonna cut it for us here. So I think that a chiller is needed in its safest version, in my personal opinion. I know that a lot of people have success keeping axolotls with fans of the enclosure to keep that degree of, you know, 64 to 67 or whatever it is. They have success doing that. I don't feel like we would, so a chiller would be the best and smartest option for us, but those things are really, really expensive. And the filtration that we wanna get is really expensive as well, especially if we have 2. We're gonna need to get anywhere from like a 36 or a 40-gallon aquarium, so the filtration on that is gonna be a lot. An axolotl, although so many people have them and keep them and have success with them, I don't wanna screw it up, and I don't wanna feel anxiety wondering what temperature they're at and if they're cold enough and if they're clean enough and stuff like that. So I wanna do it right. So even though it's been 6, almost 7 years that I've been wanting an axolotl / axolotls, I don't wanna rush it, and I wanna make sure that we have everything that we need for them to do things right and have them live a very long life. So definitely gonna happen at some point. Hopefully by the time I'm like 60, that'd be great. Axolotls number 2, they're almost number 1. Number 1 is a big one for me as well. Number 1 is a White's tree frog. You guys, I don't know how many times I've talked about White's tree frogs. Maybe not so much on my channel here. I feel like other places, like otherwise, I've talked about White's tree frogs a lot, and that's because I'm literally obsessed with them so much. I want either a White's tree frog or a group of like 2 or 3 White's tree frogs real bad, okay? And this is another one that is so commonly kept, and there's no reason why I don't have one. There's no reason why I don't have one other than I don't have an enclosure right now, but I could get an enclosure. It's not very difficult. I don't know, it's something that hasn't happened yet, but just with my reptile video, and I was talking about my number 1 is a BCC boa constrictor. White's tree frog is 100% 100% something that I want in my life. #1 dream amphibian, and I'm gonna have one someday. So that is basically it. That is my top 10 list of amphibians that I would love to own. Again, don't know if I'm gonna have all of them. Gonna get a lot of them though, I would imagine. I really want a bunch more frogs. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please give us a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button on your way out. I really appreciate it. Also hit that notification bell so you can know when I upload next, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.